What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. We have a very special guest today. We have Zack Telander, aka the Giraffe, aka the Olympic weightlifting coach. He puts out fantastic content on YouTube, weightlifting focused. Today he's going to explain the weightlifting squat, how it differs from the powerlifting squat, high bar versus low bar, squat mechanics overall. I think this is going to help out a lot of people. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like the video and check out his channel. The link will be in the description. If you want to see an in-person collab happen, leave a comment in the comment section below and make sure once again to check out his channel. Without further ado, let's get into this squat video featuring the Giraffe.
Alright, first off I want to say thank you to Omar for having me on the channel. My name is Zack Telander. I'm a weightlifting coach here at Brazos Valley Barbell. The owner of Brazos Valley Barbell is David Wilson. He's a national champion power lifter, raw lifter in the 93 kilo class. He has a YouTube channel as well. So we got a pretty cool thing going here. I coach the A&M weightlifting team, and I'm also an assistant weightlifting coach for JTS, Juggernaut Training Systems. And today I just want to talk about how weightlifters use the squat and how it may differentiate or maybe similar to the way that casual gym goers or even powerlifters will squat. And let's just kind of dive right into it, and then we'll get into the workout that Dylan and I will be doing, as well as Sam. So first and foremost, it's important to understand that weightlifters should use the squats as tools, as merely accessories that will help the snatch and the clean and jerk. And the most obvious thing that we'll see is that the depth and the bar positioning in the back squat is what's going to lead you to think, okay, that's a weightlifter, right? It's a high bar position with the really low bottom position in the squat. You can think of Clarence Kennedy. It's a perfect example of that. But what I want to talk about is the mechanics in the squat and what we're thinking, how that may be similar to a typical squat, and how it may be different. So first and foremost, like I said, depth is very important. But just depth alone isn't going to carry over to the speed qualities that we need. And the reason for that is you can reach certain levels of depth and have other points of performance missing. And the main one that I've seen is people that can reach depth and they can't drive the knees out to the side, so they can't get their adductors to lengthen. And what you'll see is kind of this bottom position right here, and maybe you'll see the knees kind of get forward and the chest be really vertical, and they'll kind of stand from there. Or they'll kind of stand like this. Okay, so the biggest issue we see is the lengthening and the shortening of the adductors. So a really important thing to understand is we need to get out like this, and what you can think is if you're out in this position, the knees out, you should be able to take in really deep belly breaths. If you're slunched over like this, it's really hard to take those deep belly breaths. Okay, so you want to raise up in the chest, take the belly breath like that. So that's first and foremost, like that's how we get to that bottom position. Knees need to be out. We need to make way for our belly. You can get down there and take some breaths. Secondly, and this one might carry over to the load that we use, the rectus femoris, this big muscle that goes from the hip down and it actually attaches to your patellofemoral joint right here. Okay, this muscle, when shortened, is really hard to activate, and the less that you activate it from a shortened position, the more you're going to probably mess up your squat mechanics. So even if you do get down into this good position, right now my rec fem is in an incredibly shortened position, and what I have to do is think about activating it as I come up, and that's a very difficult thing. A lot of times people take this shortened rec fem position and they'll go here, or they'll really arch out and they'll get that big lumbar arch relieving the rec fem. So a big goal for us is to have a lot, like the full leg working the entire time and hitting depth. And that is really determined on the load that we use. So Dylan and I and Sam have really been working this past cycle on picking loads that will allow us to control down, and as we come up we can use the full leg instead of really sitting back and standing up or getting really upright and just kind of pushing through like that. It's all about balance. Finally, core pressure or abdominal pressure. This is something that I've actually taken from powerlifters. I've taken this from David, who, like I said, is a national or raw national champion. Pulling the ribs down or thinking about kind of almost like planking in that standing position and keeping your hips in a neutral position and really trying to hold and control. And the idea is holding and controlling that position, but still being dynamic and still being ballistic. That's the true meaning of what it means to be a weightlifter. Being able to be rigid in your core and still being able to be ballistic in the bottom of the squat. So the weights that we choose should be purely determined on that and nothing else. And what I found recently is that RPE, things that powerlifters have been doing for over a year now, I mean 2-3 years, has worked tremendously with weightlifting. So you guys are gonna see when we go in there. Dylan, what do? You're doing 4 sets of 3?
Yeah, like 190.
So like RPE 7-ish?
Yeah, 7
Okay,
plus.
so he's gonna be moving fast in the back squat. He's gonna be hitting all those positions. I'm gonna be doing front squat plus jerk, and you guys are gonna see, basically it's a clean and jerk session without the clean. And when I do a lot of cleans, it can destroy my knees. And the idea for this session for me is to build fatigue in the clean and jerk without having that impact on my knees. So I'm going to be working up to pretty much a heavy single and waving back down and forward. So I'll do 3 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 1, and I'll do 3 rounds of that. So you guys can get a little bit of an insight on how we train the squats geared towards the Olympic lifts.
Go!